Alright, everybody, what's up? Cool to be live again. So let's get started again. This week a little short stream. I have a lot of things going on. So we dive into a simple exercise that helps you a little bit with timing, with spacing, and first steps in animating. But I feel like it's a cool practice you always can do. It's fun. I hope you liked my last videos I shared. Cool. With that, let's jump straight in. So here I did it once as a little demo. Let me first also check if the sound is okay of the stream. Up. Here, sound should be good. Cool. With that, let's start in. So here's a little example of the demo. Can play it once. And you can do that in different ways, in different forms. Can also one time here zoom in a little bit more. And as you can see here, this ball here moves along this line, and there are different ways also to do this. For example, in the online course from Tony Capantoya, I think he's doing it with a fish. Then in the Animator Survival Kit, it's an example with a falling piece of paper. I mentioned also as a resource in my last little short video I've shared. And let's quickly go through it, how to do it, what's important when practicing this, things like that. Let's look at it. So how to create this, and what are different levels also maybe of this exercise. But let's start super simple. So you have your drawing canvas here, and you're just sketching here any kind of shaped line here in your background. So no right or wrong there. So just do what feels good for you. So maybe let's start super simple in the beginning, just with the curve, but you could also add more curves. And then what's happening, the form you're sketching is following that line. So maybe keep it simple in the beginning. And maybe we're doing something like this, can reposition it. And you keeping this line here in the background, you can decrease the opacity a little bit, and then you're creating another animation on top of it where you want to start animating. And then this also, you can practice a little bit how to plan or approach an animation. So you first put in here your first key drawing, A1, then you place in here your next key drawing, and you want to place your key drawings there where you have some form change. Because like if we would leave this one out and we would just jump right here, you would think like this ball moves directly to that position. So of course this key drawing also helps that we want to make a stop here. I think that makes sense. If something's unclear or I'm going too fast, let me know. So I'm creating a new frame here for another key drawing, like here. So we have 3 right now, and maybe lastly let's do another one here. And with that, if we're playing it, we would see, okay, the ball already moves here in the different directions. And what's missing right now is, of course, the positions in between, and these are the in-betweens you want to add. But this would be your first key drawings you would add. And now you want to space out things a little bit. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we can go to animation, edit. You could also drag your animation just to the position, or you go to animation, edit, drag, assign multiple cells, and say by cell names. So it's depending from these names, and I want to say, like, I want to position them every third one, or every 4, or every 5 even. Let's do 4, and let's see then how much space we have in between that. So we have now 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. On fourth, we have positioned our key drawings. And now what we can do is just to add in-betweens. And we would do that. For example, we go in here and we want to have an in-between between frame 1 here and frame 2. And we want here in the middle set an in-between. So we go here like here and say 1A like this. And in between these two, we set here our first in-between like this, a little bit smeared out. Cool. But we want also like an in-between here. Let's rename this one. And let's rename this one 1B. And before that, we want another one here in the middle. And this one will be 1A. Like this. This one will be 1B. And another one in between here. 1C. And this shape here just indicates this is an in-between drawing. The circle indicates that this is one of our main key drawings. And yeah, with that we added a couple of in-betweens in between that for the first stage here. Of course, then we can also go in and play more with the timing, with the spacing, but this is just a basic start on how to plan an animation. So you want to have your key drawings like 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is your basic start, and then you start to add your in-betweens. You don't always have to name these here specifically, or what you then also can do is here at the end of 2 and 1 to sketch in a spacing chart here, where this one would be your first key drawing, and here would be your second key drawing. And in between that, what we did is just put one key drawing here, and then we put also one here and one here. And yeah, you can, but also then this is a little bit just on how you could think about planning things. And you often do that in animation, where you think about what are your first key drawings, what do you need, and how many in-betweens do you want to add. So just as a little introduction. But you could also then animate everything a little bit more free in the beginning, and think more about timing than later, where you put again here line in the background, create another animation row here, and now go, okay, we add again here our key drawings. I want to have one here, I want to have one here, I want to have one here, and I want to have one here. Like this. Again, your first key drawings, but now you're just doing everything a little bit more freely. So it's the same approach with first sketching in your key drawings, but now you go in and space things here just a little bit more out. So you just have more time in between that, and say, okay, how do you want to make things? So now again, let me create here another frame. So things gets more fast here, maybe like this, not too extreme here in the beginning. Then I want another one here. And I want even maybe another one here. And push things just a little bit around. and I want even another one here. So we have a slow in here where we add more drawings in the beginning. So the drawing is slower here in the beginning, and then things get faster. So if we're just looking at this, looks like this. Then we want another one here. And getting slower again here. Here things get super fast, so we're sketching a super strong smear here. And yeah, it's really about implementing first your key drawings and then sketching your other lines here in between that. And depending on how many in-betweens you're adding, the faster or slower your animation gets. As you can see here in the beginning, we have a little bit more fluent, or like a little bit more dynamic motion, because we added more drawings, we added a slow in, so more drawings here in the beginning. Then here things are super fast, but yeah, these in-betweens here, these smear frames, help, of course, to let things look super fast. In comparison to where we have only these key drawings, this just looks, the eye can follow so good here, this action, because like it's just jumping. But yeah, smear frame like that here in the middle helps a lot the eye to sell the fast speed. And that's a thing, we can do also then with the other frames, where we add more smear frames here in the beginning. And practice a little bit first on how to plan an animation, where to add in-betweens, how many key drawings do you need, how fast do you want to make it. Yeah, that's a little bit the essence of the exercise. And then, of course, you can also play here more and more also on your timeline on positioning, like every frame one drawing, or you position every second frame one drawing, or every third or fourth frame. Yeah, and of course, if you position every frame one drawing, things are way faster. Yeah. And let's also add here some fun in between that. And yeah, with that, like the motion comes more and more together and is faster, and something you can also then add here at the end. Is also a little bit like overlapping action. Where you're just sketching before the last frame, it a little bit more to the front, so it snaps a little bit back. Cool. And yeah, and you get super cool results like in a short amount of time. And yeah, dive a little bit more into the basic animation principles. Hello, Orvidot. Cool that you're joining the stream. It's a little bit more a short stream. So we are almost finished. Let me know if any one of you has a question. But this is a little bit the basic exercise. So just as a little recap before we finishing, you have first you're planning in your key drawings. So you have here A1, A2, A3, and A4. Then you can go in and plan a little bit out your in-betweens here. So you would have 1A here, this one, 1B, 1C. In between that, you can plan these out like in a little spacing chart where this line here represents one key drawing, this line represents one key drawing, and then resetting our in-betweens here in the middle of 1A and A2, A1, A2, and also in the middle here of these. So this line here is just this drawing here. And then you also have this one and this one, and these are just here represented in the spacing chart. So you don't always have to do that, especially if you're exploring an animation for yourself, but then later, yeah, it helps if you're working with other together to give information on how you thinking or spacing your animation out. I want to learn this chart stuff. What's called again? This one here is called spacing chart. And you also check out for that the YouTube channel. I think it's pronounced like this. Not sure right now. Something like this, but it's Dongchang. And he has cool videos about these spacing charts and how they work, and also in anime production. So I can highly recommend that. Yeah. And what you also have like is here your timing, and then there are also timing charts where you have like these columns here and where you would fill in then like this information here. And then where you put your in-betweens. But yeah, Dongchang had great videos on that if you want to check it out. And I'm also planning to do a couple more streaming sessions in the next week about this topic, because I'm also trying to use it more and more and plan my animations better out. But yeah, super cool stuff. You can learn a lot here, and yeah, it's also then depending a little bit their difference a little bit from the workflow in Western animation, or for example also anime production. Hello Komut Singh, hey, new to your channel, where did you first learn animation? I just learned it for myself, different courses. I learned drawing fundamentals, like I'm drawing since I'm a little kid. Then I studied communication design, where I learned a little bit more, but what more motion design focused, and graphic design. That's always what I'm doing for work right now. And 2D animation I just learned on the side. Ovidot is writing, please try a fight next with the chart. Yeah, that's a super cool idea. Yeah, let's animate soon a fight with someone boxing. And also then let's add some spacing and in-betweens, and time things correctly out. Let's do that. I will write it on the list. Super cool. And with that, yeah, we finished. So this basic exercise is super cool if you want practice a little bit animation. First, plan out your key drawings, like I've said. Here is the last one, then this one here, then this one and this one. Then sketch in your in-betweens. And here, like a little bit more animated out version, where we have our key drawings here, then more in-betweens here, key drawing, and then more in-betweens here in the middle. And here again, our next key drawing. And these in-betweens here, for example, here are a lot of in-betweens. So you slow in your animation, and here you slow it out. So it's here a little bit slower, here faster, and then slow again. This gives it a nice dynamic, and you just do it by adding more in-betweens here in the beginning, and then also before it gets to the second key drawing. And yeah, that's a little bit the topic around today. Cool that everyone who joined the stream. Ichian is, are you from Germany? Yes, I think was from my pronunciation. I'm from Germany. AC Entertainment is asking, sir, how to calculate frames in motion? I'm not sure what you exactly mean by that, how to calculate. So I'm never really calculating a lot of frames in the motion. Maybe you mean, so one thing you can do, of course, like now the naming here is a mess, but to see or what you counting is like, do you position frames or 1 or 2s? So you just see here the numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here at the top. And then you can think about if you want to position them on ones. So you have like one drawing here on frame 14 and one drawing on 15. And the next one here you have on 18. And then you can count 1, 2, 3. So the next drawing follows 3 frames after. So that means there it's positioned on 3s. If it follows the next one on the next one, so 18 to 19, that means you positioned it on 1s. If the next one follows like here, 1, 2, after 2 frames, then it means you positioned it on 2s. And that's a little bit maybe on counting on frames, and that's helping. Yeah. All right. Super cool, everyone who joined. Short stream, but cool question. Also for me, super interesting. Also topics for the next week. If you want to join in again, I want to do a little bit more again about timing and spacing, and also on spacing charts, how to name things correctly. So I also have to get a little bit more clean there. And AC Entertainment is right in like, you are using different frames, different animation, like animation of an eye, animation of a head turn. So when to know how many frames you need, it depends then also on how long you want to have your scene, if I understand the question right. So sometimes you're using more drawings, sometimes less drawings, but it's also something that depending on the style and the production and the show you're watching, it's completely different. It's also then a design choice, and then also it has to fit to the story. So sometimes you want, or to the, if it's a funny gag moment, and then also depends on the production, how much money you have for frames. So yeah, a lot of different reasons why some things have more frames and other things have less frames. Yeah, but I also can show, maybe that's also a cool topic, maybe different animations, and yeah, in different animations, what kind number frames, frame number you could use, how things are looking when you're using only 3 frames, how do things look if you have maybe 7 frames, but it's the same animation. All right. Thanks everyone who joined in. With that quick stream, super fun. Try out the exercise, and yeah, see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.